The Hunting Ground documentary exposes rape on college campuses and how administrators seek to keep complaints private so as not to tarnish a university's reputation. While the film is getting Oscar buzz, it's also under fire for being one-sided, which might be okay, except CNN branded it as theirs and aired it. The documentary, The Hunting Ground, touches a raw nerve, a scourge on college campuses that's hard to dispute.
The problem of sexual assault on campuses is enormous.
And oftentimes the accusations go no further than college administrators.
Her rapist's name matched the name of 2 other cases, and he was allowed back on campus.
One of the cases the documentary focuses on involves Harvard Law School's Brandon Winston. His accuser, Camilla Willingham, spoke on camera.
I went to the Dean of Students' office, and she said, I just want to make sure that you don't talk to anyone about this.
But Winston was ultimately acquitted of all charges, prompting 19 Harvard Law professors to write a letter of complaint to CNN right before the film aired. Former federal judge Nancy Gertner was among them.
And at a certain point, you have to say, I wasn't believed. The man was acquitted of the serious charges, and he should be allowed to go on with his life.
Gertner says Winston was cleared not just by university officials, but also in a court of law.
The jury that acquitted this young man of the majority of the charges was beyond a reasonable doubt standard. The grand jury found that it didn't even meet probable cause.
But CNN is unbowed, saying universities are on the wrong side. Meanwhile, emails have surfaced showing that the film's producers were not interested in both sides of the story. We don't operate the same way as journalists. This is a film project very much in the corner of advocacy for victims, so there would be no insensitive questions. Okay then, would it be insensitive to ask, why not? Yeah, ask some of the tough questions, because they knew going into this documentary that this young man had already been acquitted. And by the way, you know, as long as they're using her, the accuser, they should have made that clear. And I don't think they did necessarily.
And the tragedy of this is that this is a serious issue. Needs to be taken seriously. Administrations and universities need to be very, very careful to make sure that universities are safe spaces. That's. But when you have a documentary that comes out, you know, this actually has all the problems that we were talking about with the fictional film. Except this is supposed to be accurate and, as you pointed out in the lead-in, CNN embraced it. Yeah, and once they do that, and then they don't make sure it has the integrity that it needs to have, I think this hurts everyone involved, and that's somewhat of a tragedy.
Yeah, I was surprised when the professors from Harvard Law, and there's a wide variety of them, signed it. And you have Charles Ogletree's name on that. This is the guy that defended Anita Harris. You know, Anita Hill. I'm sorry. It gives you a moment of pause about that. And I have to say also, this is the same filmmakers that did an incredible job on a film called Invisible War, which really worked hard, was instrumental in changing attitudes about the rape that's going on, frankly, in the military. So I would have expected more. I've not seen the film, but the emails distress me greatly, I have to say.
The fact that this young man was pretty much cleared in a court of law is not a mere detail. No, and it doesn't sound like the documentary goes into any discussion of, oh, there was this terrible miscarriage of justice in the legal system. They just kind of brush aside the fact that he was pretty much cleared in court. I am troubled by the whole two-track system of justice with these things, where the university investigates, law enforcement investigates. Look, it's a real problem. If anything, sexual assault on campus is underreported, but this sounds like this sounds like some real problems.
I would just add that nobody seems to get it. The universities don't get it, that you can't sweep this kind of stuff under the rug. And these filmmakers don't even call this a documentary. That document you showed said they're not interested in, they're advocates, and they're not interested in the other side of the story. Are you kidding me? That's not anything remotely approaching journalism.
Insensitive questions. I got to get you over there, John, to ask the insensitive questions.
That's what I'm here for, to protect and serve.
All right, well, that is it for our show. Tell us what you think. Email us, tweet us, or leave a comment. We're always on at beatthepress.org.